A great crowd on hand for what promises to be a day filled with excitement for the Thunder in the Valley truck and tractor pull. This is the Limited Light Pro Stock. Here comes dirt slinging demonstrator.
Oh, Andrew Meister coming out with the brand new class. His second year for this class, 8,200 pounds. Limited on the pump. Then Andrew Meister with the demonstrator showing a good pass right here, straight down the track. Motor hooking hard right on the end. 330 feet, .16, a good hook.
Just a sample of what's coming up.
In the heart of the Midwest, there's a band of modern-day marauders. Mounted atop their beasts, they line up to throw down. They are outlaws.
From Rock Valley, Iowa, welcome to Thunder in the Valley and the Outlaw Truck and Tractor Pulling Association. Hello, everyone. I'm Claude Wood, along with your expert analyst, Dave Bennett, and Rick Carlson in the pits. Dave, here are the classes we have coming up today.
The light limited Pro Stock class, for a fact, limited on the pump, good class, new class. Pro Stock 4x4 pickups, the gas burners, you gotta love them. And then run what you brung modifieds.
To get it kicked off, this is Jared Hagena. He calls it Forever Green. Dave, this guy loves John Deere.
Oh, yeah, it's green all the way to 4520 John Deere. Limited on the motor, limited on the size of the motor. 466 cubic inches, working pretty hard right here.
Smoke coming out from under the bottom, and he goes 309.60 feet. A pretty good pull, and that will bring up Eric Clark. He calls it Rack-em.
Rack 'em up, kind of a play on the name of John Deere, if you will, the 4455. This man's going to be one of the up-and-coming stars in this class. The man farms up in South Dakota, for a fact. The Rack-em John Deere. Moving over to that left side. All right, motor's working hard, digging in. You like to see a motor dig that hard.
358 feet. Let's go to Rick Carlson.
There is nothing wrong with that. What, 28 feet?
That is a heck of a hook. That's our best one this year. We've been having a lot of mechanical issues, and this last week we finally had a chance to get down to work and get it finally fixed.
Keeping it with the Limited Light Pro Stock, this is Mike Eccles.
This is your 2013 points champion looking to repeat. He comes into this show running second in points. He has got to start catching up with some of those John Deeres.
And he's got a good shot, a straight run right down to the end, and that will take him to 372.91 feet, a great pull.
Oh, for a fact, he's chasing deer.
You want to know what it's like to go on a tractor pull? Here we go, Dave.
Oh, these things vibrate to shake that motor right in front of you, blowing the smoke, and it's a power that you just cannot believe. He's all in.
Mike Eccles, they say this is red country at 372. You got a good shot at that.
Well, there's a lot of good deers behind me, so I wouldn't. We'll wait and see. That was a good hook, though.
We'll get a good look now at an Alice Chalmers driven by Matt Vogelsmeyer, the Pumpkin Express. Let's go to Rick Carlson.
Once again, we look throughout the pits and we find another orange machine. Matt, why did you pick an Alice Chalmers to race?
Oh, well, my dad and his friend, they've been pulling since the 70s with Alice Chalmers, and we just kind of stuck with it.
Well, let's see how that pull works out for Matt Vogelsmeyer. Dave, the track looks to be in pretty good condition so far.
Oh, it is fair. Oh, man, did we get a bite on that track right there. The front end's way too high up in the air. He unloaded the tires, hit his wheelie bars. That's definitely going to hurt him on the end. They got back a hold. For a fact is he only goes 319.40, going to knock him way down in the standings.
And as we go to the leaderboard, Mike Eccles sitting comfortably in first place, Dave.
Yeah, he said it's #1 for last year, and he's trying to do it again for this year.
Stay with us. We'll be back with a lot more action from the Outlaws after this.
The Outlaw Truck and Tractor Pulling Association is brought to you by Will Cross Seeds. Good product, good prices, good service. And by Metis, fit for your job. And by Stop Fire, the world's best fire extinguisher.
Welcome back to Outlaw Truck and Tractor Pulling. A great crowd on hand today for the entire family, all ages here. we have coming up next, this is Rugrat Rampage.
John Oregon, man with the 4455 John Deere out of South Dakota. You gotta love this name, the Rugrat Rampage. You just sometimes wonder just how many kids does he have?
I have to ask, Rugrat Rampage, who named it and where in the world did you get that name?
Actually come up with the kids. I got 4 kids, and that's where they're kind of all based off of, just because of it's Rampage around there all the time. 3 boys and a girl running around, so.
Well, he has his challenges set up for him today, and John sets up just about in the center of the track. And Dave, it's a matter of finding the best place for the bite on the track.
Oh, it is for a fact. The balance of the tractor, you take a look right there, those front tires just skipping the ground. That is a perfect pull as far as weight balance. You probably couldn't have got any more good out of that pull right down to the big end as he goes 365 and 11.
And that's just a little bit short of our leader, Dave Eccles. Up next is Mitch Larson out of Viborg, South Dakota, and he calls it Young Buck.
Yeah, these guys love to take a play on the name, the Buck and the John Deere. Look at here, he's got his balance just about right as well. He's been watching the other guys go down the track, and he's going to take it right down there, inching as much as he can as he goes 359.66.
And going to school really paid off for him. Well, that will bring up the constant chaos. And Dave, is it a good idea to bounce the front wheels, or do you lose distance on that?
No, you'd like to do what this man's doing right here, carry him. If you're going to touch it, just barely carry him. This is one of the guys you really want to keep an eye on, too. Good balance. He's bouncing a little hard on the end right there, but a good run. And what a run it is, 382.28.
Alan, we look up at the board and we see a 382. There's nothing you can say, but that was a nice pull.
That was a pretty good run. That was a lot of fun. I hope it holds out.
Keeping it with the Limited Light Pro Stock, and that will bring up Tim Grody out of Dunlap, Iowa.
Tim Grody, boy out of Dunlap here, has been pulling for quite some time. The 4250. Got a nice run going here. You see all that smoke going straight up in there. There's a lot of pressure coming out of that. The front tires didn't really clear the ground, but a nice pull. At 372.90, that's going to put him up in the top for sure.
Talk about a sport of inches. He misses second place by 1/100th of a foot. And Dave, here comes the White Snake.
Oh, the White Snake coming out of Ravenna, Nebraska. They do a lot of pulling up in Nebraska, and this man is one of them for a fact. Brad Campbell staying over on that right side. I ain't too sure that's exactly where he wanted to go, but that's where it took him as he only winds up at 355.40.
And that will bring up the Crazy 8. Now, Dave, tell me about the weights that are on the front of these tractors. What are they allowed to put on there?
Well, you're going up to 8,200 pounds gross, and where they hang those weights makes all the difference. 100 pounds up front means the front end's going to get too high or not high enough. This man right here staying at the Crazy 8 had it balanced really good. These are true professionals, and they're proving it here today as Denny Grody in the Crazy 8 goes 371.04 all the way through. He sits in the 4th right now.
And he made the choice to go right down the center of the track. That worked out well. And that will bring up Tim Dunklau. He's out of Arlington, Nebraska.
The ground force tractor. Notice that air horn right up in front. That going right straight into the turbo. No restriction. Some guys like it open air right there. And so it's going straight into the turbo. And he's right down there with the best of them for a fact. Goes 365.34.
One of the things I like about this sport, you have the freedom to create what you think will work best, and it's a lot of trial and error. Here comes some spare time, and Dave, maybe he had a lot of that to experiment.
The spare time for a fact. Brady Gosler, kind of nose-tiled hood right here. You see that bump in the hood where the turbo used to be years ago. Over at that left side, kind of pulled down on him. 374.32 does put him into second place right now, 1.41 better than Eccles.
And that will bring up Big Red. Now explain what you meant. It pulled down on him. That weight constantly is moving toward the tractor.
Transferring the weight off the rear tires of the sled onto the skid pan. As Big Red's going down the track here, Travis Stein. That weight getting heavier and the trip goes off. That's part of the sled that makes it heavier. And the Big Red International, as you see, Internationals and John Deere's, and this man calls a little short, 6 foot short, goes into second place at 375.53.
The winner in the Limited Light Pro Stock, Alan Shellum, 382 feet. You'll want to stay with us. Coming up, the Pro 4x4 class, and you'll meet Loretta Selman and her Chevy hunting Ford, known as Rat Trap. Stay with us. It's standing room only with people from all over the United States enjoying truck and tractor pulling. The Pro Stock 4x4, Dave, will be a battle Ford versus Chevy.
Oh, for a fact. Ford and Chevrolet, 485 cubic inches, a maximum limitation on its single four-barrel DOT licensed tires. This is Paul Tyus out of Biloxi, Texas. Manages a white-tailed deer farm down in Texas. 3:15:06 for the hammer time. Paul Tyus, the man out of Texas. Let's go down and see what he thought about that run.
Paul Tyus, hammer time. That was hammer down. That was a good-looking pull.
Yes, sir. It turned out pretty good. A little light coming off the, coming out of the hole. Should have had probably a few more RPMs. I think some of these other trucks coming up are going to do pretty good also.
As we look at Footloose 2 getting ready, Dave, the track looks like the surface is pretty hard. How does that affect the 4x4?
Oh, that little shiny surface means this track is firming up, and they're really going to like it. Like Footloose 2 right here, Larry Hollis. He likes a firm track. The man is a retired masonry contractor, driving a big block Ford. He's been points champion before, and the flag flies on him right there at 3:12:92. Let's see what he has to say about his run.
Larry Hollis, 3:12. It looked like it took you over to the right a bit.
Well, I went to the right. I thought I'd just give it a try over there and see what it was like.
Well, it worked kind of good.
Well, it was good, but not good enough.
This will be Tammy Morris in Dazed and Confused. And the weight on the front, again, this is obviously a Chevy bow tie, but they have a choice how they can configure that.
On four-wheel drive pickups, you want all the weight up front. They're weighing 6,200 pounds. You build it as light as possible, put the weight up front. And this little lady right here out of Neosho, Missouri, Tammy Morris, she can hammer with the best of them. 3:16:22, she takes the lead.
And I'll guarantee you she was anything but dazed and confused. Well, here comes a bad habit.
Oh, the bad habit. This is your 2013 points champion. He's trying to defend his title. Look at that smoke coming out from underneath that clutch. Sliding the clutch. He's working it hard. Kyle Carson over on that left side of the track with his Chevrolet, chasing the lady. The flag flies on him right there as he takes the lead at 3:30:27.
As we go to the replay, Dave, you said he's working the clutch. What if he doesn't do that?
He'd blow the tires off the line, just like a AA fuel dragster. You hit it with this 800 horsepower, you blow the tires, you ain't going nowhere. Great job of driving.
A good job. Let's find out a little bit more about it. Here's Rick Carlson.
Kyle Carstens, you hooked that up and just took it all the way out the back door.
I tried hard, Jim.
Well, that's what happens when you want to defend a title.
I got to give them guys something to run after, or they'll get cocky if they don't.
Coming up next in Pro Stock, still with 4x4 trucks, Loretta Selman out of Garden City, Missouri, and Rat Trap. Now, she is quite a character and a competitor.
One of the fun parts is sitting here visiting with Loretta. Loretta, you're driving this truck, and it's a Pro four-wheel drive Ford, all Ford, right?
That's right, 110%.
Who decided it'd be a Ford?
My husband and I both decided that. We're both Ford people.
Is that where the name Rat Trap came from, trying to take out big block Chevrolets?
That would be correct.
How successful has your season been so far?
Actually, this is my first hook of the year for this year, so this is my favorite place to come. I love this pull.
Your first pull of the year here at Rock Valley. How do you decide where to set things up and where to pull from, right, left, or in the center?
Well, my husband helps me decide with that, and we go back and we look at notes from previous years, and that kind of helps us judge.
Loretta, a waitress by trade, her and her husband shared driving on the Rat Trap. First pull of the season, they've been waiting on parts to come in for the big block Ford, 485 cubic inches. She's going to work that left side of the track again and just, bog that motor coming off the line. Running at the guys, trying to get the ladies back up on top. Going to fall in there about 2 feet short as she goes 3:28:11. They knew the lady was there. So on the replay, you see how close she is to that sideline right there, and trying to be careful not to go across that sideline. The tires touches it, she's out of bounds, dirt slinging. You can see her hands working that steering wheel right there, trying to hold it on line. The lady does a great job of going. So at the conclusion of the class, Chevrolets are going to take the win, but the ladies come in as number 2 and number 3. Claude?
Coming up next, you're going to love it. The no-holds-barred beasts of the modified class. Stay with us for more of the Outlaws.
The Outlaw Truck and Tractor Pulling Association is brought to you by Riggins Ag Equipment. Spray it or spread it, we have what you need. And by Crop Production Service, the one name in crop production inputs. And by Precision Turbo and Engine, world's foremost manufacturer of high-performance aftermarket turbochargers.
Welcome back to Thunder in the Valley from Rock Valley, Iowa. It's the modified class, and this is the wild, woolly, almost anything goes. Here comes running on empty, Dave.
3 Chevrolets, all 3 pointed a different direction. Jeff Paulson out of Ogden, Iowa, cranking it open. 3 motors, 3 clutches, 1 little gearbox right in the middle, 7,400 pounds. 6,000 horsepower. Flag flies on him right there at 290 feet, .81.
Jeff Paulson, 290 and 8. Is that going to hold up, do you think?
I don't think so. I think there's some good tractors out there. This is our first shot out this summer, and we're just still getting the bugs out, you know, from wintertime.
Wayne Longnecker getting ready to go in the River Rat. Now, if you think something looks unusual about this engine, you're right. Let's find out what it is.
When they told me I was going to go see a Rolls Royce, I'm thinking, do I get a Silver Cloud? Do I get a Phantom? We've got a Rolls Royce engine. How in the world did you make this decision to come up with Rolls Royce power?
It was pretty easy. We saw some run in Europe. We liked them, and I had a friend that lived there that was able to buy some for me, so then we made this decision at that time.
Well, we talk about Rolls Royce and we think of all the engines they have. This is not a car engine, is it?
No, this is actually built for a World War II bomber plane that had actually 4 of these engines on it. So it's a little bit old. It's over 70 years old.
And how many cylinders? It looks like we're a V12?
That's right. It's a V12, 24 spark plugs, 48 valves, lots of moving parts, and you know, it's just a big, heavy antique.
Well, Dave, that engine has the reputation. Will that reputation hold up on the track pulling?
Well, 2,240 cubic inches. For a fact, this motor's basically stock except for the injection and the ignition. And Wayne Longnecker, can get as much out of a motor as anybody. And up in the air, you don't like to see that high up in the air, but he's not getting out of it none whatsoever, and he's going to take it way down there. Looks like he's going to take the lead at 3:28.87.
That was a nice pull. It looks like you got everything together tonight.
I think we got out of it everything we could tonight. Ran good, and balance was good. We'll just have to see how good it was.
Is it still comfortable driving a Rolls Royce?
I still enjoy it after, 13 years.
Yeah, who wouldn't enjoy that? Cody Barron's out of Firth, Nebraska. He calls it the Turbinator.
T55 Lycoming engine right out of a Chinook helicopter. A lot of people call this a jet engine, but it's legally called a turbine. It's not jet propelled. Cody and Brett Barron's brothers helped drive this tractor down the track. Cody doing the driving today. Nice pass, fronting up in there just a little bit, 3:04.46.
Let's go to the replay, and you're on board right behind that big turbine engine.
Turbines don't make the noise that the big V8s do. A lot of the shrills hurt. Some people say it hurts their ears a little bit, but hey, they just sound sweet. You're talking 2,000 horsepower. Nice straight pass up in there, down the track.
Cameron Neves coming up next out of McAdoo, Texas, and he's a cotton farmer, so he calls it cotton candy.
Yeah, a large cotton farmer, around 4,000 acres, him and his dad, George. They used to compete against his dad. 3 Chevrolets, 572 cubic inches. Oh, got a nice pass going. He ain't going to like going over to that right side. He had to hit the brakes to bring it back. Not going to like it all. 3:20.87, good enough for second place.
Cameron, we just talked to your dad. What do you think about the pull?
I think it was a pretty decent run. We didn't catch the river rat, but I was tickled with the run itself. Maybe it should have been a little bit lower gear.
Hey, he said you'll have it figured out for tomorrow.
We hope.
Dave, there are a lot of choices here for configuration on engines. What really works best?
Nobody knows what works best. I mean, you take these Chevrolets right here on the Ulmer. Fight Like a Girl, they've got a family member that's got breast cancer reasons that's on there. The 3 motors right here, you got 3 clutches going back into a gearbox right at the back. It's whatever you got for horsepower. He bounced pretty hard up on that takeoff right there. He's not going to be very happy with that. Looks like he's going to move into number 3 at 3:16 and 99.
And that'll bring up Donald Nelson in the Texas Whiplash. Now, earlier, he drove the Texas Bullwhip to a pull of only 254 feet.
Yeah, this tractor, Don has two of them. This one is a DT466. Used to be a diesel engine, now on methanol alcohol diesel engine with spark plugs, if you will. And that's 601 cubic inches competing against the big boys in the same class. But take a look here. His other tractor's got two big Hemis on it. Both of them pointed a different direction. They meet in the middle. And this one, he really likes this Hemis. He likes to bear down hard, but never got a hold of the track. Way back here at 288 and 18.
Well, could you transfer what you did today into something for tomorrow's run?
Yeah, we'll evaluate it, and I think we'll drop a gear tomorrow and get some more RPM out of it.
Well, I'll tell you, the Hemi sounded good.
Thank you.
Well, you always learn from previous pulls. Here comes the Thermal Thunder. This is Kyle Pitch.
He comes out of Milford, Nebraska. Now, Kyle is actually a director of training for 6 different software companies. You'd be surprised how much software is on these turbine engines he's running right here. He's been in the sports quite some time, worked his way up. The T55 goes 280 feet, .02. Nice run for him.
Kyle, you've been down one of these courses in so many different things. What do you have to say about that run?
Well, it wasn't one of my best ones. We're still trying to figure out some of the weight and the gearing on this thing. This track was different tonight than what we expected. It didn't take the front end weight like we expected, so I moved a bunch back. Tire pressure wasn't quite right. It got to bouncing coming out of the hole there, and I just, at the end of the class, that's what I could do.
Well, that'll conclude the class as Wayne Longnecker out of Iowa, the River Rat, with the Rolls-Royce will win it by 8 feet. The Chevrolets from Texas goes number 2, and the Chevrolets from South Dakota goes number 3.
A lot of great action today from all classes from Thunder in the Valley. We're glad you could be with us. Be sure to join us all season long for the Outlaw Truck and Tractor Pull Series. For Rick Carlson and Dave Bennett, I'm Claude Wood. So long from Rock Valley, Iowa.